In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to increase your personal happiness.
Everybody deserves happiness, and the best part about it is that it's within your control to experience it.
So grab your cup of coffee and join the conversation because we're going to share with you 3 things to help you have a happier life.
Coffee with MoJo in the morning.
Hey, you're here. Welcome. I'm your host, Molly Ann Luna.
And I'm Jovan Luna.
And today we're going to teach you how to increase your personal happiness with 3 simple steps.
But before we do any of that, I'm going to need you to hit the like button. I'm going to need you to hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to need you to hit that bell notification. Ding! So that you can be abreast. You love that word, right? So that you can be abreast to
Let's say notified. You can be notified every time we upload a new episode.
In an abreast manner.
Sure. Okay. All right, but let's just dive right in because who doesn't want to be happier?
Can I get any happier? I have like the most amazing life. I have a beautiful wife.
Thanks.
Beautiful little girl. Budding career. Can I get any happier?
I don't know. Can you?
Let's find out.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I am a very happy person myself, but there are moments where things just kind of feel like poo. So these 3 things will help you really tap back into your true self, which is your happy self.
So the first thing is you need to identify what it is that you need as a human, because ultimately you can't have happiness until you know like what it is that kind of makes you tick.
And no, it's not the latest Mac gadget, or is that a thing? Mac gadget? I want to say it like that.
It's not the latest Mac gadget or internet doohickey.
Your latest Nikes and all those young things the kids are into. That doesn't make any sense.
The whippersnappers.
Those whippersnappers.
Those whippersnappers.
It's not the things, right? It's not the material possessions. It's not the latest car or a new outfit that's going to make you happy.
So
it's something that comes from within.
All on the inside. So this came from Tony Robbins. He believes that there are 6 human needs that humans need in order to experience happiness in a full life, and they are contribution, variety, connection or love. They're kind of one and the same. Growth, significance, and certainty. And a balance of these 6 ultimately creates a happy life.
And if you're not happy right now, there's something going on in your life, one of those key areas that is just yearning for more attention. So despite thinking it's, the new boyfriend or bringing a baby into your life or a new job or anything that's outside of you, it's not. It's actually one of those 6 things.
In fact, at the end of this video, in the comment section, I'll leave a link for you to check out the 6 human needs test. But just to kind of describe, this is to kind of describe what the 6 are. Contribution is basically how you show up for the world, which directly ties into significance, because you showing up for the world with your talents and your abilities or whatnot allows you to feel more significant, that you matter, And connection and love is just, again, when you're connected with somebody and when you love somebody, you are significant in their life. You see how they kind of tie in and how it's a cycle. And growth. Growth is either something you do as a person on an emotional level or something like specialized knowledge or whatnot. And obviously growing makes you more significant to people and can allow you to connect more with other people. That full circle thing. And variety is just breaking up the monotony of the day-to-day. And certainty is obviously you need to know that some things are going to be happening all the time. Like you need to know that you're always going to be able to take care of your family financially or what have you. But you need a little variety to shake things up.
I'd like to add something. The way that you just described love and connection almost makes it feel like it is something external. But I think that what it comes down to is that love and connection that you have with yourself first.
I think it's both. I think love is a feeling and it's also a verb. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Love is a verb.
So it's an internal and an external thing. Like you can feel the feeling of love, but then you also can do the action of love as well. I don't think that one is greater than the other. I think they both work hand in hand, So
okay.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's fine. just was thinking that I had said, it's not about finding that dream boat, your soulmate that's going to make you happy. And I just wanted to make sure, because before you can do that, and wow, that's wonderful. Like, I love that we've been married almost 10 years. Our anniversary is coming up. But our relationship wouldn't be as wonderful as it is if we didn't individually, first and foremost, connect with our inner being and fully love who we are as individuals before we came together to love who we are as a couple.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Something also that these 6 human needs have in common is that they all require you to get outside of yourself and to give, because ultimately as humans, we're not here just to do things only for our own selfish gain, but in fact to help our better man, so you grow as a person, so that you can give to somebody else, and so that you can contribute and you can feel significant to others. So the biggest thing we need as humans is we need one another, and we need to show up and help facilitate one another. And that's the biggest thing with happiness, is not to be so self-serving, but to be selfless.
Yeah, because oftentimes when we're in a state of depression, we're thinking about the past and we're stuck in our own thoughts and worries and concerns. Or if we are feeling really anxious, it's because we're foreshadowing on what's to come in the future rather than being in the present moment and really allowing ourselves to not just think about ourselves, but to think about others and how we can be that contribution or how we can grow within ourselves. And that is what will increase our own personal happiness.
Absolutely. You want to move to the next point?
Yes. So the second thing you need to do is identify your core values. So knowing what's important to you, what really lights you up. Just yesterday, I went to a business networking meeting and I got to meet a room full of 30 brand new people I'd never met before. And that is something I love to do because I'm a connector. I'm very social. I love getting to know you, getting to know about your business, and talking about ways that we can co-create and help elevate your business. And I just realized that I don't do enough of that in my own life. I value connection. And what's a core value that you have that that has, when you nurture it and you give it some space, has increased your own personal happiness?
For me, like the human need, the human need that pervades all of it is growth. So when it comes down to my core values, I tend to look at things that will grow me as a person, because I know the more that I can grow as a person internally, emotionally, or, something that actually can affect an external skill will allow me to show up better for my fellow man.
So is it fair to say that education is a core value within yourself?
Right.
And when you're honoring that element of yourself and you're giving yourself time and space to learn, you feel more happy.
Absolutely. And might I add to this core values thing, if you've ever gone on in your life and an opportunity has been presented to you and you feel like this is a good opportunity, but something just doesn't feel right, it's not like necessarily it's a conscious thing. Ultimately, it can be that something in this opportunity isn't jiving with your own personal core values. And just like the Tony Robbins link, I'll also add a link for a core values test as well, because these things are very, very important in trying to figure out what makes you tick and what's going to bring you some happiness, because you need to understand what it is that you value. If you're a person that values, like Molly, the company of others and strangers, then a job that puts you in isolation and puts you in a cubicle is not going to facilitate you. Now, if you're a person that, just values privacy, then a cubicle job just might be your dream job. And that's okay. That's great. Yeah. But you need to understand what it is that you value and what makes you tick and what lights your heart up, and build a life around that.
And once you've landed on those things, then you got to put a plan in action. What's something you could do right now to start to cultivate that and to allow yourself to experience those things so you can elevate your own happiness? So I have a quick story for you. After I parted ways with the US Army, and shortly after leaving my job as a certified financial advisor in corporate America, I was in this space of uncertainty of I don't know what I should be doing. And I was on the quest for the next perfect career. And I knew I wanted to start my own business, but I didn't know what it was going to be. So I was investigating. I remember I took a few online quizzes, and I was really trying to come up with something that I thought was going to be my answer to happiness, to creating happiness in my career. And I ignored the first two things. I ignored what my human needs were. I ignored what my core values were. And I just started looking at some of my past work experiences, which I had worked for 8 years as a veterinary technician. And I just thought, well, maybe I'll become a dog groomer. Or maybe, I thought maybe I'll become a dog walker. Like, there's nothing wrong with either of those jobs, but it is not in alignment at all with my own human needs and with my core values. It was just me trying to find, to fit the mold of what I thought I should leverage my expertise on, instead of actually crafting a really thriving online business that I now have that helps me meet both my human needs and my core values.
You know what? I'm gonna add a military story as well, and I'll make it quick because this is our final point. Based off, I was in the military, kind of got in the rut for a little bit, and then I finally realizing what matters to me is like I need to be a person that grows, and I like to be the best that I can be so that I can help others. And to be the best that you can be in the Army benefits your subordinates, benefits your soldiers, because they're going to get better training because you're better trained, and because you're better trained, your superiors are going to be able to trust you with bigger tasks, yada yada yada. Just like in a corporate structure. So anyways, me wanting to be the best soldier I can be, decided to compete in these military competitions, like these boards, and just to test your military...
You wanted to be a super soldier.
A super soldier, just to test your military mettle. And in doing so, I that was probably the best part. That was like the highlight of my career, because I realized like I was getting complacent, I was getting stuck, and I was like, I need to grow. And I took on, and I did this, extra. And I grew, and because I grew, my subordinates grew, and because they grew, the organization as a whole was better because they were better trained. So the whole thing of like putting a plan in action and starting where you are, this is for me. I had to start where I was. I was like, what do I value? What are my human needs, and how can I implement them in this current place? Because a lot of times we want to start we wish that we could start somewhere else, and we're like, oh, if I can just start here. But no, you need to go, I know what my human needs are. I know what I value. How can I mold my current situation to fit my values? Because I get it. You might be in a job, or you might be in a relationship you just can't, just sever ties on, or like we say in the military, cut sling cord on. You got to stay where you are. So what can you do where you are to be that person, to be a better person that, that's serving your own happiness?
Yes, and that's the part I didn't add to my story, was that I did have to just start where I was, and it wasn't exactly the right answer. I started to take action, and I put a plan in place, and I took my online quizzes, got a little bit more understanding of it, and then I went and I asked some of my closest friends, and they were just like, they could see what I couldn't see.
Yeah.
And that plan has since evolved over the years, but the more I come back to these key elements, the more my own happiness has really increased and continues to do so throughout the years.
Right. To recap the whole thing, 3 ways to be happy is to identify your human needs, to understand what your core values are, and then based off your human needs and your core values, to put a plan in action.
And give yourself permission. That plan won't be perfect, it'll be messy, you'll fall off course, you'll get back on course, it'll evolve as you go. But just start taking action, because you deserve to live a super happy life.
So what I want you to do is comment in below and ask, what plan of action are you going to take to create a happier life for you? Also, if you've gone through the human needs and core values, write down what your core values and your human needs are. I'm interested in knowing what that is.
Yeah, share them in the comments below. Actually, we'd love to have a dialogue with you and have a quick chat and helping you discover smart ways you can also increase your own happiness.
And remember, the best conversations go down at mindfulmamastv.com. I want you to go over there, join the mailing list, and become a MoJo Insider, where you're going to receive exclusive content not shared anywhere. Here, over there.
No.
Nowhere. No. Only in that email list.
Yes. So thanks for joining us today right here at Coffee with MoJo. We'll see you here next Wednesday. And until then, keep striving to master your mind and live your legacy. Oh, this chair is so... Why does this chair swivel? Why is this chair swivel? I don't like it.